If Pluto is crossing your first house in any time in the next 20 years, it means that Pluto will be working on you. This is a once in a lifetime, and many people, only maybe only 1/4 of people will ever have Pluto transiting their ascendant. Not everyone will have it. This is a big thing. This is life-changing, new chapter in life. It's a new beginning, you know. So it's if Pluto transits someone's sun, moon, or ascendant, I mean that's huge. The ascendant is very powerful. It's yourself. It's your incarnation on this earth. It's your physical body. It's your path in life. So when Pluto starts going into that first sign, first house, it means that you're starting a new karmic chapter. It's almost like for the last 15 or whatever years, you've been closing a karmic chapter. Actually, it might not be just karmic chapter in this lifetime. You might be closing a karmic chapter from previous lives. And a lot happens while Pluto has been transiting your 12th house. It's almost like more endings that happen while Pluto was in Capricorn, more things out of your control, more like you're seeing results of previous actions, and more like life and forces outside of your influence are leading you and directing your life. It's while the moment Pluto starts entering your first house and affecting it, you can start feeling more in control. Because Pluto is control, first house is you. You can start taking the power and now starting a new story. It's a new slate, clean slate. While Pluto transits the 12th house, it wipes out the karma, or you pay off the karma of previous lifetimes or this part of life that till then. There is like a cleaning of the astral body while Pluto transits the 12th house. And the moment it starts transiting the first house, new beginning. So you can feel like you're stripped bare, like almost naked as a new person. I mean, some people, I've even seen people change their name when Pluto transits their ascendant. People change their appearance because Pluto transforms, while it's in the first house, your whole self-identity, your whole role and image that you have of yourself, the role that you play in society, who you are. And that often gets expressed by people even changing how people look. I've seen sometimes people have surgical interventions, like do something on their face or the body when Pluto transits the ascendant, because that's one of the themes, you know. Sometimes I've seen them just change their look. Sometimes Pluto can even make you like darken the look a bit, making it so you're not standing out too much. So it's more subtle, so it's more mysterious. And also people say that I've noticed that when Pluto transits someone's first house, especially the ascendant, people are saying that they find that others either are really drawn to them magnetically and fascinated and even obsessed with them, or that others become scared from them. They're like, don't mess with me kind of energy when Pluto is transiting your first house. Because you're taking your power back. You're becoming somehow, especially the 2 years when Pluto exactly transits the ascendant, but it might be the whole 20-year period, not as intensely, that you become like a Scorpio somehow. People get, there is this, even though Pluto transits the ascendant, it might be creating some pretty intense changes for you. And you might feel like you're smashed under the energy of the transformations, that internally, psychologically, you're being broken and rebuilt. But externally, people start finding you sexier. Like, go figure. It's something about this primal energy that's running through you that is, and the energy of Pluto is definitely connected with the Kundalini energy, you know, the coiled snake at the base of the, what's that called? The backbone. Even the symbol is like a snake, plutonium. And it can start rising, whether it's transiting the sun, the moon, or the ascendant. It can start rising. And you know what happens when the Kundalini energy starts rising? You start going crazy psychologically. You start feeling it's such intense energy inside of you. That also people might become like the sexual energy can awaken or whatever, or that primitive animal-like energy, because Pluto is also connected to the reptilian brain. Fight or flight. You see, Pluto is almost on my ascendant within a degree. And again, all Pluto transits I had, it's the anxiety levels are high for some reason because of this energy starts rising, and if you don't know what to do with it, it can create anxiety, and there is like this restructuring of your whole energy and etheric body inside when Pluto transits a pivotal planet, sun, moon, or ascendant exactly. So it's very important, if Pluto will be transiting your first house, to find something to channel that energy. Otherwise, you might feel like you're going a bit crazy, or that you're going through panics, that you're going through mental breakdown. I had many people that went through Pluto in the first house, a lot of Capricorn rising people. They experienced intense things, but they were transformed and empowered. And interesting thing is that almost all of them found a lot of help through sports, through some kind of a routine. Especially Pluto is like maybe high intensity one. But if you can't do that, anything that can channel your energy, just go for a walk or whatever. Otherwise, the anxiety is too much. But it's most intense for the 1-2 years while it's over your ascendant. And because the energy that the universe infuses in you is so powerful, this Plutonian, mystical, Kundalini energy, that you don't know what to do with it. You can have dreams of snakes. You can see a lot of symbology of snakes and Plutonian stuff around as well. But this energy has to. And it can get some intense. Sometimes people have said when Pluto transits, especially the ascendant degree, or makes a hard aspect from the first house, that they feel like they're under attack by some force. And because it's directly affecting the seventh house as well, it might be a force from like someone targeting you. That is something I've noticed. Like they feel like their name is targeted because you start exuding power. You start exuding this energy that can be quite disconcerting to others, that can be quite threatening to others. And you start getting attacked, and the attacks can be under the low blows or vicious sometimes, or just depending. But especially for Aquarius rising, Pluto is connected to the 10th sign from them, Scorpio. So maybe they have to be more careful starting power struggles with some authority figures, with institutions, with governments, with bosses, with father figures, with people with power. They might feel targeted through such people. Pluto going through the fourth house. That would be if your ascendant is Scorpio, most likely, but you might have a ascendant somewhere else. You might have it in Libra or in Sagittarius, and Pluto might be on the fourth house cusp, might be in Aquarius. So pay attention, especially when Pluto is close to the fourth house cusp, or is making aspect while in this fourth house to other planets. I've got a few examples, but there'll be big changes in your personal life. In extreme cases, let's get out of the way the hardest thing. A parent, family member can pass away. My husband just had that. No one passed away, actually. A big transformation, 2 kids were born. So, and a loss of a pregnancy of the wife. So the fourth house is your family life, your personal life. If you're married, it's your whole family life and directly affects also the marriage and so on. So big changes there. Oftentimes when Pluto crosses exactly the IC, people will change where they live. And like it happened for my husband, during those 2 years, we bought two properties in Bulgaria, and would go between, and a lot of transformations. So we move every few months, Bulgaria, America, Bulgaria. So there's constant transformations on the home front with family. And there was some power struggles with family members. Yes, that was for sure when Pluto was exactly transiting. So this is something you can. And Annie says, hi, yep, I'm moving to New York. And I relocate from New York to British Columbia. Oh, you'll be my neighbor. In May, so Annie will have it in the fourth house. Wow, amazing. So while Pluto is transiting that fourth sign from your ascendant, or where the IC is, there can be not just one move. It can be quite often, not often, but every few years even. There's transformation. So you might be like Pluto transit on the cusp, you change something at the house or move, and then you start doing repairs. So it's a perfect time, for example, to Pluto likes to give life to something else. Buy a fixer-upper, fix it, make it a project, 20-year project. You can fix the toilet 1 year, another year, you can add another, whatever. You can sometimes make a lot of money, because it's Pluto after all. It's one of the planets of money and other people's money. If you're doing such kind of fixer-uppers, renting, selling, buying property, real estate, land, and so on. Is the Aquarius Pluto transit opposite natal Pluto something to look for? Yes, that's kind of initiation. You would feel that psychologically. It's a very Plutonian time. It's a bit like Saturn return, but like a Pluto return. And it will affect the house Pluto is transiting in the opposite one. I'll move to the fourth house now. So definitely it might be one great remedy is do some home repairs around that time. Have a long-standing home repair project. And another thing to do is when Pluto is in the fourth house is people might start working with psychology or working with their psyche and their subconscious and releasing family patterns, family karma. They can start digging deep and delving into how the feelings are connected to your health, how the feelings and early family history and early childhood is connected to your current state, and to reprogram, to transform that and to release. So it's a bit more introspective transit. There is a bit more digging into the past. Transformation doesn't always need digging into the past. But in this case, for Scorpio, because Pluto rules them, if it's their rising, and being in the fourth house, basically Scorpio rising people. And if your fourth house is in Aquarius, there'll be some digging, because Pluto wants to dig. Fourth house is the past, to reframe, to see somehow when Pluto was squaring the rule of my fourth house, I had family constellations, and I really reframed the past about my family. So I no longer hold grudges, as and that's released you realize something, and you release a lot of pent up feelings. I just had a friend of mine, she's very spiritual, very noble person, and Pluto is transiting her fourth house. And she said like all the dirt of her family broke loose from ancestry family. She says like, it's like, she didn't explain what exactly happened, because it's just crossing her eyes, her fourth house cusp now. She says like a lot of family secrets came out to the surface, and a lot of family, and she feels like the whole family ganged up on her somehow, and she had to dig deep and find forgiveness. And so there can be sometimes such experiences. For my husband was more like finding secrets about his early childhood and before he was born, because we started living with his mom when Pluto transited his fourth house. And there were some power struggles there. There still are occasionally, but he found out so many things, because he didn't grow up with his mom. And he found out so many things he didn't know. He didn't react. He didn't tell me anything. If I asked him, how did Pluto in your fourth house transit? Oh, okay. But oh boy, the things that he found out, definitely, he said they impacted him, but he didn't say it out. So it's like a private experience that you go through. It's like I had other friends who Pluto transiting the seventh house can meet someone very wealthy, or someone with power, someone that transforms their life. Someone who can transform somehow you're transforming, because Pluto is aspecting your first house as well, but through another person plays a pivotal role. So it doesn't mean necessarily you'd always have heartbreak or whatever. You can have the best, also some of the most transformative relationships in your life. And it's not necessarily that Pluto is a sexual planet, but it's not necessarily, it can be in the form of a business partner or another close friend that enters your life. And the people, because it's a social house that will be in your life, they will be very Plutonian. They'll bring up interest about, just like my brother still has Pluto in the 7th. So him and his wife, they're big conspiracy theorists. and she has a surgery clinic. So when he met her, she had a dental surgery clinic. She still does. So he met a Pluto person, surgeon, dental, healing fields, Pluto, who is big conspiracy theorists. They actually have a video production now that they together, because seventh house is to do something with another, that they're working on bringing forbidden knowledge, hidden history of Earth, forbidden secrets from governments, and so on. They're doing this like a free project to contribute to the world. So it's interesting how all those symbologies are played out for him. While someone else said that all the time Pluto was in the seventh house, they were having they were falling in love a lot. That's like falling in love intensely. And having very intense experiences with partners, sometimes very painful, but sometimes very transformative. And that they learned so much through their partners, basically, that they, even when they were painful. But if Pluto is making a hard aspect from your seventh house, maybe to Mars, to Saturn, to your own Pluto, to more dangerous planets, be careful, because there might be some dangerous people around you, open enemies that directly attack you. I had someone who was in a court case with a business partner, and because the business partner stole the business, so they did something dodgy to them, and they were suing each other. I had someone else that was in an abusive relationship, and their partner started hitting them when Pluto started making, the conjunction, and it can get violent, but not for everyone, it's definitely, but there will be some extreme feelings of love, of hate, of that you have to work through until you find your middle ground in relationships as well. And you learn to recognize the toxic people around you, because they might be more predators that want to take from you more than they give. But yeah, the good side of Pluto is that they can be people that really help you in some way, because a Pluto is, in a sense, planet that is other people's resources as well. So they can be, the notion of other people's resources, what you give and receive to each other, can be very predominant and prevalent during Pluto transiting the seventh house, that can affect your relationships. And Pluto is a ruler of the fourth house, so they can be some changes connected to family, home, or place of living that are affecting your relationship, or that is impacts your relationship in some way as well. They can be the theme of parenting and parents that are affecting your relationship. Then Pluto will transit for the 10th house for Taurus rising, or if Pluto is transiting your midheaven. If you see 10th house cusp in Aquarius, that's you. Wow, that's the other most important. So if you happen to have your ascendant or the first house cusp or the 10th house cusp in Aquarius, this is the most important transit. These are the two most important house cusps and points in the horoscope, together with the sun and moon. The 10th house cusp, the ascendant. So the first house cusp, the 10th house cusp, the equal in strength, the sun and moon. Those 4 points, that's, when Pluto transits there, it's pay attention. Big things are about to happen. So they need to come into their power and they find their own authority figure. Someone can become a business owner. Someone can transform what they work, what field they work in, what career. And if you're in a career, again, which is not truthful for you, the circumstances will show it to you. There can be a toxic boss there, or a situation that is very extreme, that it's pushing you. This is not the place for you, because Pluto only wants the truth. And when it transits the midheaven, it will do with nothing but the ultimate truth for your career and that you're supposed to do. Another person that I know that Pluto just transited the 10th house cusp, he was struggling with his career, even though he's incredible, very high level person. But for the previous few years, he was. And the moment Pluto crossed his midheaven, finally, he got the clients he wanted. It's like he took off because he was doing the hard work, because he was a moral, good person. He's in the right field. Actually, Pluto's been in... he's in the right field that he is, so things just clicked. It was perfect, he published his first book. He got clients. Each client is $20,000, and he has multiple clients that he coaches. He's a coach, and it's like things lined up. Finally, he came into the power and the recognition. While someone else might fall from grace, so if you're in the wrong place, if you've been abusing power, if you've been, if it's not the right place for you, it's just the universe is gonna take it for you, career-wise, Jess says she's 0 degrees Taurus sun. The sun acts very much like the midheaven, by the way, because the sun and the midheaven have similar, it's career related. So it's the highest good you can give to the world. So Jess is going through massive career change currently. Pluto is about to square my sun. Yeah, it's already started for you. And the 10th house, the MC in particular, is one of the parents. So it can be a power struggle with one of the parents, or some big change in their life, or in worst case scenario, I even that's my Voldemort word, death. So the 10th house as well. I've seen sometimes people enter into power struggles with institutions and so on. So with Pluto, you have to be careful. You shouldn't fight face on. You have to be wise. That's my word for Pluto transit. And with the 10th house towards authorities and people of power, be gentle as a dove, clever as a snake. Gentle but clever, strategic, But overall, I want to give you hope. If Pluto's going to transit your MC, this can be the time when you really get empowered, when there's a big change with your career as well, but where you can be put in positions of public responsibility or visibility in the next 20 years. If Pluto is transiting your 10th house, can be time when you're somehow in positions of visibility. So you have to be very conscious of your actions, not to do anything dodgy, because you're seen. It's up there in the air. You're seen. Any misstep, and you're here to learn for those 20 years how to claim your power through your contributions to the world, through your career, through your taking care of the material life, of course, and the right actions, how you use power with the right actions.